There's a pattern I've been watching for a long time, and this week, it happened again. Israeli fighter jets struck deep inside Syria, bombing not just the border zones, but the very heart of Damascus. The Defense Ministry, the Presidential Palace. These aren't just tactical hits. This is strategy. And it's not new. Israel says it's protecting the Druze. But that's just the surface. The truth, if you know the history, is far deeper. This is not about religion. It's not even about Syria. It's about power, timing, and the politics of survival. In Tel Aviv, not Damascus. Let me explain. Fighting broke out earlier this month between Druze and Bedouin militias in Syria's southern province of Suwaida. These are long-standing tensions, tribal, local, but they escalated fast. The new Syrian government, led by President Ahmad al-Shar, tried to intervene. And the moment they did, Israeli missiles came down from the sky. Jerusalem said the strikes were to defend the Druze minority, that the Assad regime's replacement couldn't be trusted, that rogue Syrian elements had allied with the Bedouin militias. And yes, some of that may be true. But Israel has never needed much reason to bomb Syria. The question is why now, and why so dramatically? You see, Israel has a decades-old doctrine. Keep your neighbors weak, divided, and constantly distracted. It worked in Lebanon, where civil war and sectarian collapse created a buffer zone. It worked in Gaza, where Hamas was both demonized and in some moments tolerated, to keep the Palestinian Authority fragmented. It worked in Sudan, where Israel quietly welcomed the division into north and south. And now in Syria, the same logic applies. Netanyahu doesn't want a unified Syrian state, especially not one backed by Turkey, hardened by war, and learning to govern again. A broken Syria at war with itself is a safer Syria for Israel. And let's be honest, Israel can bomb Damascus with impunity. The Syrian Air Force is a shell of what it was. Russia's not stepping in. Iran is overstretched, so the strikes continue. But here's where the politics shift from strategy to survival. The Knesset is about to go on recess at the end of July, and Netanyahu's coalition is on the verge of collapse. The ultra-Orthodox draft crisis is tearing the country apart. Protests are growing. The military is fractured. Even elite IDF units are rebelling. Netanyahu needs a distraction. He needs nationalism. He needs war. By striking Syria and playing the protector of minorities, he positions himself as the strong man again. Not the prime minister on trial, not the man who failed on October 7th, but the commander-in-chief defending Israel from chaos. And once July ends, he may change course. In August, watch closely. We might see a ceasefire, a diplomatic gesture, a sudden push for peace, not because he believes in it, but because it buys him time to rebuild alliances with the far right and stay in power. And what about Syria? President Ahmad al-Shar has tried everything to calm the region. He's made promises to protect minorities, even to contain Hezbollah. He accepted Israeli demands to demilitarize the south. And still, he gets bombed. This week may mark a turning point. In a recent speech, al-Shar hinted that he's finished trying to appease Israel, that to protect Syrian sovereignty, he might turn to Turkey, his only real military partner. That opens up a terrifying new scenario: Syria as the proxy battlefield in a regional Cold War between Turkey and Israel. And while Israel may feel dominant today, Ankara is watching, calculating, and building its strength. I say this not as an outsider. I lived in Arab countries. I studied the language. I converted to Islam. I read Lawrence of Arabia and dreamed of something noble in the region. But over time, I watched that dream wither. Authoritarianism, tribalism, fear of freedom. Too often, the systems disappoint. And still I do not support bombing them into chaos. That is not strategy. That is sabotage. You cannot build peace on broken neighbors. You cannot defend democracy by destroying everyone else's chance at it. And Israel, if it keeps pursuing this policy of calculated fragmentation, may one day find that it has broken not just its neighbors, but the region's last chance for balance. Thanks for watching. If this perspective resonates with you, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and visit WesternRelations.com for more geopolitical analysis from a European point of view.